Hualien City Medical Center translates health knowledge materials for foreign caregivers. Tzu Chi Foundation provides Wi-Fi routers for disadvantaged students to study online. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. Since the pandemic broke out, the Hualien City Medical Center strictly enforced the policy of one person accompanying per patient, but many of the caregivers are foreign. Therefore, the nursing department has translated health knowledge materials into 4 different languages. They hope that foreign caregivers may understand COVID prevention rules while protecting their own health.
An Indonesian caregiver reads important messages off the hospital's bulletin board. The sincerity of the hospital has deeply moved her.
It's clear and simple. To us Indonesians, it's great. I will take care of myself every day.
In order to allow foreign caregivers to understand COVID prevention rules, Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center has translated flyers into several different languages.
The English version is for caregivers from the Philippines because they're familiar with English. The Vietnamese version is for Vietnamese caregivers, and the last one here is the most demanded Indonesian version.
Using the QR code, one may directly access COVID prevention videos online.
Caregivers play an important role in COVID prevention. I hope to use appropriate translations, allowing them to understand and follow our guidelines. This will make management easier.
As COVID prevention knowledge becomes accessible in the touch, caregivers may have a better awareness while taking care of both patients and themselves.
In Taiwan, in order to save a COVID-19 patient's life, Dalin Hospital's Dr. Chen Yinghong has performed intubation on the patient. However, during the process, the patient spit droplets and therefore endangered the medical professionals. Fortunately, Dr. Chen has been vaccinated. After being quarantined and tested negative twice, Dr. Chen has returned to work. Medical professionals implement intubation on COVID-19 patients to save their lives. However, during the process, they face the risk of having close contact with the patients.
It is truly dangerous to perform intubation on patients, considering his standing position and his equipment.
Although performing intubation is dangerous, the resident medicine doctor Chen Yinghong is not afraid. He's concerned about how to save a precious life.
First of all, I have been vaccinated. Secondly, if the patient can pass this test, he has a chance to survive. Thirdly, at noontime, he has just talked with his daughter on the phone. His daughter thinks her father can fight the virus. I thought about helping him gradually recover. We still ask him to be quarantined. However, later, Dr. Chen has not shown any symptoms. After being tested twice, his test results were negative, so he has returned to work again.
The doctor has taken on the mission to save the patient's life, regardless of the risk involved. As the pandemic became severe, specimens overload hospitals and more laboratory scientists are needed. As a mother, laboratory scientist Li Jiarong is unable to accompany her son during his surgery. Though she's devastated, she continued her job examining specimens.
The twins, who are 1 year and 10 months old, happily danced as the mother started singing. The brother of the twins just had his surgery a couple days ago.
I want to accompany my child to the surgery, but I can't. My husband sent photos of my child to me. I look at the photos and cry in the bathroom.
Li Jiarong is a laboratory scientist. When her son was treated with general anesthesia, she was still busy working since the pandemic got severe. Working with a higher workload, the laboratory has 4 people taking shifts day and night.
Because I have work and I cannot accompany my children when they need me the most. When my child is at the surgery room, I couldn't be there as a mother. I truly regret this.
Though she is suffering on the inside, Li Jiarong chose to work at the frontline COVID prevention force.
I feel that my role as a laboratory scientist is like a guard. We actually need a lot of concentration during work. After looking at my son's photo, I cried and then returned to work.
Putting COVID prevention efforts as a priority, these medical workers are truly heroes.
During the pandemic, many disadvantaged families are impacted since they cannot work, living a tougher life. Community volunteers brought in charity supply carts, hoping that they may purchase supplies on their own.
During the pandemic, the grandsons' classes stopped while the grandfather's work halted. Everyone is forced to stay at home.
My grandson doesn't have a computer. He's close to graduating from elementary school, and his teacher only asks him to watch videos.
With the generation gap in place, it's tough to teach a child schoolwork, as both grandparents stop working. Tzu Chi volunteers arrived with charity supply cards. The supply card is more realistic because we can use it to purchase things that our family needs.
When they go to the supermarket, they may purchase everything they need at once and reduce risks by going out less.
During lunchtime, this stall has no customers. The supply card given is very heartwarming to this Vietnamese mother.
It's really tough, and it's hard for me to find part-time work due to my age. I don't know what I will do if the store closes.
Ms. Xia's husband passed away 2 months ago, and she took on the duty to raise 2 children. Gladly, the son is now helping out his mother. I have to work at the stall and do other things, so I get a little tired.
After he helped her with rent, we also asked what else she needed. She said as long as the stall is open, she can make a living. She told me that she doesn't want to take more money from us.
As the pandemic separated many, great love cannot be blocked out, as the love from volunteers continues to support people in need.
Although classes stop, schooling continues at home. In Taiwan, all schools utilize online classes, yet many disadvantaged students are unable to access the internet. Therefore, NTU Professor Ye Bingchen, KKD Chairman Chen Yinghong, and JetFi team up with Tzu Chi Foundation. They provide 15,000 Wi-Fi routers to students, allowing them to continue with their education. Bring the Wi-Fi router to the home of a student. Guangfu Elementary School's teacher wanted to help out disadvantaged students.
They don't have a network device, so on May 20th, we brought 5G SIM cards from the Education Bureau to the students. With the SIM cards and a tablet, the student can join online classes, or else their learning is forced to come to a complete stop.
After it's fully charged, the tablet is tested until it's working, allowing students then to continue learning online.
In the
past, students then utilized his mother's phone connection in order to participate in online classes. But once the mother is out working, there's no internet connection at home.
I missed 1 or 2 classes. With Wi-Fi provided, I can search online. For example, if I can't do this problem, I can search it up, find words online, or find idioms.
Remote education isn't as simple as video sharing. The problems of wealth and the poor and an unbalanced distribution of network resources has severely limited students living in remote regions.
Although the government provides 4G SIM cards, but most tablets provided by schools are not compatible with SIM cards. So when these students receive SIM cards, even with a tablet, they cannot access the internet.
With the issue identified, Professor Ye Bingchen initiated a charity collaboration with the intent of helping disadvantaged students.
Master Chen Yan said that we should be doing this. Therefore, Tzu Chi Foundation and partners look for internet routers, allowing children to bring it back home for schooling. In the past, there are many devices like this, Wi-Fi devices. This was for consumers to access the internet while in another country. But because during this time, many couldn't travel, so we actually have a lot of these devices lying around. After counting and deciding on what we need, we discovered that they had 10-20,000 internet routers. This means that though these items were making money in the past, now it's useless.
Therefore, devices were rented to Tzu Chi Foundation for 2 months at a discounted price. At the beginning of June, 15,000 devices were provided freely to students in need.
On June 5th and 6th, we distributed internet routers to multiple education departments. Because for almost a month, students have to study at home. So we hope that we may help these disadvantaged students as soon as possible.
特别谢谢我们慈济基金会
I am especially thankful to Tzu Chi Foundation, Professor Ye Bingchen, and other related enterprises. Thank you everyone for supporting New Taipei City.
As the devices arrive, students may continue their studies without being disconnected from education. The pandemic outbreak in Malaysia continues to spread. The government has implemented a 2-week movement control order starting on June 1st. In order to prevent dialysis patients from going out and reduce the risk of infection, Tzu Chi Dialysis Center in Penang provides secure packages to those in need.
The nursing staff was introducing the use of the care package to allow dialysis patients to reduce their chances of going out during the 2-week movement control order.
Regardless of states, the number of cases across our country has been increasing. Therefore, full movement control order was implemented, which is to let everyone stay at home as much as possible. Therefore, we provide Jinsu products to our patients. The main purpose is to reduce the number of times they go out to pack for food, and thus reduce their contact with outsiders, which can also reduce the risk of infection.
After inquiring about the needs of each dialysis patient, a list was made and delivered to Jinsi bookstore for packaging, which were finally delivered to each patient.
We respect the choice of each dialysis patient, what they want to eat and what they want to use. As long as they can be safe, I think all the so-called troubles and details are worth it. And the blessings from the masters of Jinsi Bowl can also be sent to their homes.
In addition to delivering supplies, Tzu Chi Dialysis Center also prepare vegetarian lunch boxes to encourage everyone to become vegetarian.
Through the pandemic, patients have the opportunity to try to eat vegetarian food. After trying, they actually know that vegetarian food is acceptable, and we can also achieve the mission of promoting vegetarianism.
The dialysis patients must protect their bodies and minds during this time and hope that the pandemic will end soon.
In China, 62-year-old Liu Aimin was blinded by an accident when he was 12 years old. After his mother passed away 4 years ago, Tzu Chi volunteers took over the task of taking care of Liu Aimin. They often visited him in the mountain village of Yi County. Last year, because of the pandemic, they could not go visit him. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers from 4 places have gathered to visit him.
Every year, Tzu Chi volunteers visit old friends in the familiar route of the Shuanghezhuang village in Yi County. The volunteers kept greeting in the villagers on the way into the village. They were going to visit one of the villagers, Liu Aimin, who is completely blind. Last year, due to the pandemic, the visit has been suspended. This year, a group of volunteers came to show concern.
In our groups, 15 are from Beijing, 14 are from Tianjin, and this one's from Yixian, and another one from Laiyuan.
After Liu Aimin's mother passed away, Tzu Chi volunteers have more frequently to visit him for 4 years. In this home visit, in addition to helping him clean the house, the volunteers even made dumplings and invite his neighbors to dine together.
We invite you, the 3 of you, to Liu Aimin's house and eat dumplings together, okay?
For the Northerners, dumplings are symbol for the reunion. After this meal, everyone's faces are filled with happiness. Before leaving, the volunteers help Aimin lay out all the cleaning bedding.
From the bottom layer, I have dried all for you, including new bed sheets, pillowcases, and pillow towels. I'm just telling you that it's all laid out in the original place.
Among the fellow volunteers, there is also a Chinese medicine doctor who treats some villagers with oral health problems.
Their bodies will have some problems more or less, and I also urge them to pay more attention to their diet and feel happy.
The doctor heals the diseases as well as care for the spiritual mind of the villagers. In the country yard, there is love and laughter at this moment.
City volunteers are a special group of people whose footprints can be seen all over the world. Recently, with the COVID pandemic, they wasted no time to mobilize, not only at the onset of this illness, but throughout the battle. They donated anti-pandemic supplies and also provided care. Through hard work and cooperation, we can all get through this pandemic together.
新增2位。
量测额温。
At the end of 2019, a global pandemic broke out. In May 2021, a breach occurred in Taiwan despite strict epidemic prevention measures.
240例是本土，那5例是境外移入。
A large number of confirmed COVID patients emerged in Taoyuan, Taipei, and New Taipei. As the pandemic heated up, anti-epidemic materials have begun to be in short supply. Tzu Chi Foundation donated protective face shields, and Taoyuan City Police Department is one of the partners.
Today, we have received some information from police officers that when they are in contact with the people, there is a need for the supplementary pandemic prevention materials. They have sought resources from us.
As Taiwan faces a new wave of challenges from the pandemic, at this time, I felt the warmth of Tzu Chi immediately.
Taoyuan City, New Taipei City, Taipei City, and Yilan County. The main demand is anti-epidemic face shields. There are about 6,000 pieces. We are currently preparing to send out 3,000 copies. We hope to mobilize Tzu Chi to support us in this pandemic prevention action.
As the epidemic spread, New Taipei's Bali nursing home was disinfected and residents were temporarily moved to a gymnasium. Tzu Chi volunteers donate Jingse multifunction beds to give the elders of the nursing home a place to temporarily stay. As COVID rages in various countries, as of May 2021, more than 164 million people have been infected. About 3.41 million people have died. Many people have fallen ill and died. The global economy has also suffered a major blow, and international public interest groups and large organizations were also shut down.
In San Diego, in the United States, they asked some 3,921 registered nonprofit organizations with a questionnaire aimed at the heads of their organizations. Some 60% of these nonprofits said that they were greatly affected by the pandemic.
Under this severe pandemic outbreak, there's one organization that can break through the restrictions and continue to operate. Tzu Chi volunteers in California since the beginning of the pandemic have distributed pandemic prevention materials and fresh fruits and vegetables to Hispanic laborers in the community.
In the past, I could find cleaning jobs at many homes or work selling things, but during the pandemic, I couldn't work. I had to take care of my children at home. I believe that masks can protect my family and my children, and also protect me. Wearing a mask makes me feel safe.
At 1 or 2 in the morning, Tzu Chi Foundation still maintains daily video connections with India. During this pandemic, the missionaries of charity and the chameleons in India have all asked Tzu Chi for assistance.
Orders have been placed for 200 respirators. There are 25 states in India. We estimate that there will be more than half of them, about 15 states or provinces, will receive our relief aid.
In this wave of the pandemic, India was caught off guard as it soon spiraled out of control.
When a city will be closed and which city is closed is a problem. They may tell you that tomorrow it will be closed, the day after tomorrow. Then how are you going to deliver supplies when they are already on the way? I think this is very difficult to determine if goods can be delivered or if they can find the right person. This is one of our challenges.
Tzu Chi and local religious organizations have worked together to make contributions and leveraged each other's strengths to find a way to deliver them in the fastest way possible. However, they also hope to ensure their personal safety. Since the end of 2019, the pandemic has spread globally, and volunteers from all across Tzu Chi have also mobilized. Localization allows volunteers to initiate assistance at the first moment. Volunteers are self-funded, self-giving, self-donating, and cover all walks of life. Give selflessly and reap priceless personal treasures.
Current scientific research shows that we are compassionate and altruistic. There's a region in the brain, or many regions are responsible for this behavior. For example, it will excite our parasympathetic nerves and release some chemicals to deprive us of feeling of pain.
Recently, scientific research has pointed out that sending compassion causes a positive response to the body, and from the perspective of religion, this is also a way to stay away from the suffering of life.
Everyone and every species must ensure their own survival. There can be no shortage of water, food, etc. This needs to be achieved before they can help others. So this is a type of selfishness and the cause of ignorance with humans.
Volunteers are altruistic and donate for free, plus the donations from the four parties. The two are added and multiplied to achieve higher value, as ROI is an accounting method to measure social value. KPMG Sustainability in 2020 used Tzu Chi Banqiao Jingse Hall as a case study to evaluate Tzu Chi's social influence and the high value of volunteers.
At present, in the analysis of the 6 categories of Banqiao Jingse Hall, we have found that $1 donated will create an effect of at least $8.
If we take into account the volunteers of Tzu Chi, who usually pay their own costs and use their vacation time, if we take it into consideration, its effect will be multiplied by 5.9 times. Such a large multiple will lead to a total contribution that is more than 50 times.
It is a natural thing, and it is revealed in our nature. When I see this person needs me, I will help. When I have many masks, I will donate. And when I have the ability to make a lunchbox and deliver it, these are the things we should do. This is what we typically call sharing.
Do your part and reap spiritual satisfaction is what Tzu Chi's most admirable volunteers have done.
At Hebei Tzu Chi Hospital, medical staff has used balloon figures to calm the anxious minds of COVID-19 patients. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.